It really has, but I think right now we have to look at only two teams, KPI and Ghibli. Rarely have we seen teams that are so close to each other at the very end of a series with such a gap behind them to third place. So really, these two teams honestly could just focus on each other because they know that they're the only teams that they really have to contend with. But let's see what the drops are happening. Virtus.pro are sticking with the Starkey drop. We'll see if they stay with that going forward for the rest of this event, but at least right now, it is a very good backup plan considering they decided finally to pull away from the hot drops.
Yeah, KPI coming in strong right now, and I gotta say, again, I've enjoyed watching these guys grow, and it's just a continual, like, it's an exponential growth. It feels every single time we see them at the new international event, they find opportunities, and you just gotta give it out to them. We saw it in the last game. They do not give up. If they feel like there is an opportunity still to be had, they don't care if they're outnumbered. They don't care about anything. They just bring so much heart into every single game, and that's giving them so much in the circle.
You see what I'm saying? It's another split phase one. Not quite as dramatic because the Georgia Pool Bay isn't going to be as big of a wedge into the circle, but still that river cutting right in between. Really does look like a Pokeball with that river island dead center. But this is going to give Ghibli particularly a strong opportunity for early game presence, early game control. But again, that river is going to be 50-50. Ghibli could go 2-2, 2 on the north, 2 on the south. But while everyone's getting into position, no hot drops to watch over. Let's get a quick replay, quick reminder of the ending of that match. Because at this point, Ents, they were looking like they were going to really make VP struggle, and struggle they did.
I mean, it's just good play, good use coming out from ends, very aware of where their victory conditions lie. Let's see, up on the top of it, making sure to put in a ton of work and everything that's happening. Once Batulins goes down, they find the opportunity to shift away from it. Degree gets the angle into Spyro, and now just the push comes out. Doesn't get the knock there. That's where I thought that this was going to come apart for VP. Instead goes, all right, maybe there's time, and commits into this res. And let's be real, this is about one of the ballsiest reses I have seen in international competitive PUBG, where he knows the fact that the push has got to be coming, but realizes the fact that it's going to take him a second to get there. And now, with the res up, Spyro steps away, looks back into it. He gets the knock onto one, sprays into the second one with the assistance. Man, that is just so freaking close of an ending.
Yeah, 6 spray there, and really good from Virtus. Bro, the fact that they are able to win the first game that they finally stopped hot dropping is, it's chance. It's pure happenstance, right? They dropped Zarky, the circle went up in their direction, right? They definitely got a little bit of zone favor. However, that still shows us that they are in this game. They are not completely tilted off the face of the earth. They aren't cold because of the hot drops. I mean, naturally, the hot drops is going to keep them super hot, super warm with the adrenaline, with the constant engagement. But even how they positioned and they rotated around that area, they are still the Virtus.pro that we expected coming into this event. So despite them being in 14th right now, I think moving forward, they're going to be back up there with big threats.
I gotta say, big respect also to DraftKings. Whenever we look across the board and KPI, Xfiumba, and how they play, we often find ourselves looking at Emmy, Silzen, big performers for the team, but DraftKings has been a key component of so many plays today. You can see getting a massive amount of the kills for the squad and being in very difficult positions. Like I remember back on the Miramar game, whenever he was holding off to the side while Team Liquid was making push up the hillside, and Emmy was having to navigate the top of the hill all by himself. Just so well played time and time again. As a team that we used to think sometimes would be passive, it's not feeling that way. They're just netting kills upon kills and figuring out how to make it into the end game. I just cannot wait to see if they manage to do it again, or if finally we're going to see Ghibli be able to step up and get the first place position for the end of the week.
Ghibli are stepping up and crossing the river at the very least. Mambu was up there first, and everyone else is rotating behind. Not too many vehicles for them to work with, it looks like, because 3 all riding in 1, but nonetheless, good, basically center position here. It's the most center compound at the very least. And even if they do have to cross the bridge back down towards the south, I still think that it's easier to cross north to south than south to north.
You got my attention.
And it's phase 1, right? Like, you really can't guarantee stay on you, even if you're dead center like this.
I mean, the compound provides a ton of vision in the south as well, notably over the ruins area and Rajak to its own variabilities. You can see that KPI now making their rotation. They've been playing to the south, but don't have too far to go into the safe zone. But we know these guys like to push in much, much further into the safe zone than playing along the edge. Notoriously, we have seen them play across the edge and try to get kills there. But this time around, a little bit more, I guess, less fear coming into their eyes, realizing the fact that we can send it in the center, we can take these fights, and that's why we've seen the performance. It's just the level of confidence now coming out for him, as you can see, running right into the Chinky itself, saying the fact that there could be an opportunity inside of here, as 17 Gaming does tend to leave this a little bit late, and while not finding the kill, at least being able to take out a couple of the fences there, so that way they can get some vision on what could be happening with 17 Gaming.
And this is ambitious. KPI rolling in without really much of a worry at all.
Yeah, I mean,
still just trolling around.
It's going to force a reposition coming out from 17, who was starting to stretch out. Most notably, you can see one member very far to the northwest, away from the rest of the squad right now. We did have Space Station Gaming come in along a similar path, and you can see them on the mini-map there, just moving into those compounds just to the north of this area. So could have some vision and maybe harass whatever's going to be happening if this fight does break off into a northern area. Buriram always got to keep an eye on, because Lord knows where Buriram's going to go at any given moment. Team Liquid now leaning into the edge of the zone, and I gotta say, Team Liquid having a very, very strong day today as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so swinging in from the south right now, they're taking the south of Chinky Hill. They're going to be overlooking, potentially spotting out 17 and KPI, and if those two teams, a fight breaks out, Liquid are going to find themselves yet again in a position to third party. That's really been where they've been able to gain so much control, so much power, so much damage in a lot of these games so far today, is having the opportunities with good split spread position to just deal extra damage to teams that are already in a fight. But right now, I don't think 17 are going to want to take this engagement. KPI might not be aware of how close they are to some members of 17. They're probably just going to wait out phase 1 close and then see where phase 2 takes them.
Snakers and Kickstart have been putting in some work for Oath, and again, it's the quiet control that comes out from Oath. It is just so neat to see. They suddenly are just in the end game, and they get the kills so efficiently. We usually don't even have a chance to watch the firefights, but this time looks like we're gonna be able to watch this one as Multi-Circle Gaming making a push into TSM's compound. TSM trying to hold it, running a touch of a split themselves, but Peak comes through. Molotov lands onto Summer, now in a little bit of trouble and has to move away from it. TSM's Penta looking like he's trying to get a little bit more control on the outside of that door, but can't quite find the angle to work with. Ghibli also involved in this at range, really mitigating a lot of the movements. Multi-Circle Gaming also made their way down the hillside as Penta does connect into Summer. This is turning into a 2-2 fight across 2 different compounds, while Ghibli is keeping an eye on what's going on to the southernmost compound.
Summer tried to frag TSM multiple times, but the chaos that Penta was able to throw his way kept the grenades really from landing, but Alo is stuck out on his own. Well, okay, not anymore. The rest of TSM are grouping up, and MCG trying to scatter, trying to find a new spot. Buriram definitely going to be taking these engagements. Good spray coming out from Kanaxi, gets another kill.
I mean, Buriram just comes in and plays spoiler on everything so often. Here's a firefight and says, hey, we're going to get involved. Kills to be had. Jumps in, already picks up one. Also moving aggressively into it with the fact that we're seeing the 2-2 split coming off. Luke with a beautiful play coming up top, but does go down as well. Multi-Circle Gaming does get eliminated, but Buriram is putting in work in the southern grouping. Now, let's see how TSM can manage to right this one. They have 2 of their members that are going to be down, and it's going to be a little bit further up on the hillside. So, with this, just the last 2 having to contest with all of Buriram, who have no fear coming into this party now the last one out. Trying to see if he can get a feel for exactly where the approach is going to be coming from, but no! It's going to be Buriram. Comes up at 5 kills already, and just absolutely ruins both Multi-Circle Gaming and TSM's fun.
Buriram, this is an exciting play style, and it's finally coming up. It's been a bit hit or miss in previous matches, but they have a good number of kills already, as well as control of a reasonably contested compound. Let's see what they can do wherever phase 2 goes. That's gonna happen in 10 seconds or so. It could go directly on top of them, or it could, of course, swing all the way to the south side of the river on Gatka, where Fury are currently heading. No more fights happening right now, but it's going to be a little bit of a medium shift towards the west. Good for VP once again, but also good for Heroic and Ents once again.
I just feel bad for every single coach and analyst that has to figure out how to contend with Buriram, because it feels like Buriram doesn't know what Buriram's going to do until about 2 seconds. And so whenever you're trying to set up your plays, your strategies, like, you know, this 2-2 split fight that we saw going on between TSM and Multi-Circle Gaming, you just never know. They are the X factor in these lobbies, and sometimes it works for them, but I mean, presently sitting in, you can see 13th place, they are the influencer in so much of what happens inside these circles.
Oath, but Oath are able to get in front of them around shooting range, and actually, their presence caused Oath to stop. Looks like Oath do want to take this fight, or at least expecting Bururam to push on them, so they want to get into a nice defensible position before that happens. But Bururam going to continue to rotate. Shots coming out at long range. Wait, keep on moving. Keep on moving. Can't stop here.
I mean, I like this. Oath just aware of the fact that they have the inside track on positioning. They do force Bururam away and actually hop in their vehicles and look like they might be repositioning to maybe try to catch them yet again. Maybe on the opposite side of shooting range. So we'll have to see as that goes and how well the tracking comes into play. KPI coming in very far to the east on this one, so not too many contenders going to be going for bridge camps against them. Ahead of them, though, is going to be Space Station Gaming crossing the bridges here in just one moment, as it's a little bit of a slower roll for a lot of these teams. We are down to 55 alive, but I mean, our big influencers right now, KPI, Ghibli, and Oath, still all inside of this. Is should be noted, Space Station Gaming has had a pretty big come up themselves, as they had a little bit of a rough time moving through the qualifiers to get to this, but now find themselves very comfortably in for it, up there with Team Liquid, who's just had a big come up today.
Rotating out in the blue. KPI coming in late, coming in last. Not uncommon for them, and judging from their previous position onto the shift like this is I think, definitely a good play for them. But the problem is, I don't know how much is left, at least on the north side of this river, left to be taken. It's a lot more open. It's that big, giant hill.
See,
Doesn't have a lot of cover.
This is what I'm talking about with Oath. See, it's always a heads-up, very aware play. They know that they have control over the north. Force Bururam away once. Managed to figure out exactly where they're going to be coming in, and already waiting for them yet again. This style is very oppressive. It's not flashy, but man, it sucks to play around, and you can see that's how come Oath managed to get so much control, and the rotations are so much easier into those later circles.
They kept pushing Bururam away, Oath. Now they have full position, I kind of want to say control of the north edge of the circle, but it's phase 1, so that's not that valuable, and it's on the low ground of that shooting range hill. They're going to have to push up to Virtus Pro, who at Crash Plane are going to be overlooking all this position. KPI still rotating, very long rotate, not even taking the Yasnaya bridge. They're going around Yasnaya. At least they're able to find another vehicle to use, but they're going to be backfilling essentially where we just saw Bururam and Oath rotate in, and without any information on their own push, they could be driving directly into another team. But where is phase 3 going to move? It's a shift down south. Danawa Salute is actually in a good position to shepherd the rest of his team over that river, but now Ghibli, with that position they found in the very beginning of the game, how are they going to make that work to retake position 1 on the leaderboard?
I have no idea how KPI is going to navigate this. They've been outside the blue zone for so long. They have had to burn a lot of meds. They're going to have to stop before they push into it. But they've been out here. They have no information. They're coming into this blind. And this is a circle that has a lot of water in it. The river's heating up so much. So coming into the north of it means the fact that they should be expecting to have to deal with several contested teams as they make the run in. Ghibli, though, are doing a little bit of work into Fury as Inside tries to make their rotation, and going to go ahead and get taken down, but it looks like the rest of Fury are at least going to be able to find somewhere to stop right along the edge of the zone. KPI, though, I just don't know. Like, I get the idea on coming in late, but I am very scared.
They have a quick moment, catch their breath, regain their footing, and maybe try and get some information, but being on the low ground, I don't know how much they'll be able to find out. They might recognize that SSG are taking this compound in front of them, but even then, that's a bit too far away. They're just gonna have to take it slow and steady, and the path that they're going right now might lead them into Oath territory. Oath are currently rolling up just in front of them, getting close to Virtus Pro, and there's also going to be Ents the entire time holding the strongest position in this northern section of the map. Oh no, they're spotted.
Taking this one, runs right next to Oath, but I think they might be able to use the hillside to get a little bit of cover to work with, and they do manage to do it. Now, also running by Ince. Ince is taking a couple of shots, not enough to put in enough work onto him. They are really doing a great job of running through this, and let's be honest, very blind, but already has an idea on where the teams are going to be at. Realizing that almost every compound's already going to be taken, and now fairly close to center, and a circle that should shift up to the north on this one. And just, again, a beautiful read on how to navigate this circle and get into a great spot for the later stages, while also avoiding the mess that has been the early games.
KPI's biggest strength in most chickens was being able to feed these mid-game sends, knowing exactly where to go and how to get there. That's strength replicated here, but Heroic and Buriram, they don't want to send the middle. They want to fight each other out. Grenades, utility from both sides coming on through, and here comes the push by Buriram. Beamy is trying to assist from the compound, and T-Bone there on the low ground with the secondary flank.
Heroic and Buriram realizing the fact that the last in-game was fun, so just trying to do it again by themselves. Buriram, they'll have to be careful as they do have GNL that's going to be stopping back behind them. Now, as on the clock with that hillside, they can put in some work. Heaven got the high ground vision into it and is going to take down Connexy. This is the problem whenever you look at Buriram. They want to go for these fights, but at range, they're going to suffer some casualties off of it. But do note, a little bit of a spray coming now back in as Heroic does get vision of what's going to be happening in this. This is a little bit back and forth. Now Godmiao is looking in. No surprise, Circle does go to the door, definitely favoring that position and that very bold rotation that KPI did just a moment ago. Heroic does have the time to reset off of this. It's all onto Buriram, who's just getting picked apart piece by piece with minimal options on how they're trying to get out of this one. They know the fact that somebody's going to be at range, even if they do get into vehicles. Luckily, it does look like GNL is starting to back away from this.
Great to meet you.
That's good. I mean, the GNL were in the blue. They didn't
Keep
want to be
your
taking
feet
too
on
much
the
damage,
ground.
especially now that it's phase 4, but this does give an opportunity for Buriram to try and heal up, but we'll see if Heroic let them rotate away. Okay, amazing spray from Waikiki Mukau from his vehicle. He does get traded out by Oldless, confirmed by Renbub. And now 17 making a similar spray sent across the bridge and find themselves
What can I get
on
for
top
you
of
today?
Danoff Soul, but Liquid got a third party. Of course they are.
Safe
Of course they are.
Team Liquid wanted into this one. Do get it down. It's going to be Mixie that manages to spot it out, but there is one member back for 17.
Hello. See you soon. What's on your mind? Keep your feet on the ground. Kishnuala. Hello. Be careful.
Did pop to the west, narrowly coming into it, near on no life, but is going to navigate through. The problem is there's near on no cover, and he has got to survive and stay alive much longer than KPI. As you know, KPI is on the hunt for kills. Team Liquid already out, but have had a phenomenal day, shifting into 4th place.
KPI rotating after Ghibli, but they're also running away from Ents at their back, trying to get into the circle. Suddenly being pulled away from them is the zone, and they need to rearrange their positioning. Oath also making a send, trying to send it through Virtus Pro, but the shots are coming out. A little bit of damage, but nothing too devastating
Get
just
closer.
yet. And they're just gonna stick at this
Out
shack
of
for
range.
now.
Everything is coming out in KPI's favor. Oath making the stop there means the fact that they're going to have vision on the shack, on the open side of it, do get the knock on the Snakers, and now can continue to make the press in. They've got so much control over this and should be able to easily maneuver themselves into a strong point in the center. Adder, hearing the firefights around him, realizing that he could be in some trouble, saying maybe he can get to a point, try to get a kill point of his own, but KPI now taking the work into Danawa. Sloot's going to go down, but it's going to be Lustenmar that gets the flush onto it. Adder still clinging to life, but it's not going to be for too long, and in the end, it is going to be Ghibli going down to KPI as they are cementing position, and you know these guys are feeling it right now. This is a squad that lives off of emotion and heart, and they are putting in so much work in the teams around them.
But they're not done. They're still trying to get as much of a first position as possible because why not? Why not really make it hurt, not just for Ghibli, but for every other team in the lobby? The more points that KPI get, the fewer points any other team can grab as they put themselves in the leaderboard. And 3. That goes down. Confirmed. And now they come to end by KPI. Spun over.
Gotta be careful. Silson already down. Indy in some trouble as well. KPI trying to make a statement, but that statement might have to be a quick retreat from this point. They do have Inns as well as the remnants of Danawa making their approach into this. Oath is kind of caught out and still trying to live around that shack. And KPI remembers it, keeps taking a look into that direction. Heroic making a shift, rolling in very close to VP's positioning, near on no fear as they're just going to roll right up into this one. Ince is going to be able to take down Danawa at range off of this one. It's getting more control over the west, but it is going to be Draft King, a star performer for KPI that is going to be holding down a close range position right on top of him. Amy goes down. Only one going to be up for KPI at the time. Draft King, what we have left is Ince is just going to continue. Grenade upon grenade, now caught on fire, near on nowhere to go, gets spot out. It's going to be Snakers that get some vengeance from their shack to take him down. Now, firmly cemented inside of first place. KPI's got to be feeling pretty good, but opportunity arises now for Oath to make their statement as they are finding themselves in a halfway decent spot into the north. It's just getting messy. VP and Heroic just at each other's throats.
Damage coming out from Petulin, spraying Heroic down. It's only T-Bone remaining at distance in the compound, the anchor player. And that send from Heroic was a necessary send for this game, but Virtus Pro are holding onto their territory. I don't know if Perfectus is going to be able to get revived. Potentially smokes coming out from Spyro, but again, it all depends on the angles from Oath and particularly from Gen G. I think Virtus Pro might just want to play it as a duo.
Yes,
Diggory is getting the revive onto Tixu, and they still need to make their way even further into this zone. They're going to have to use smokes to make their way through because this angle by Esther is huge. Gen G, 5 kills, 4 up, and now in top 4 podium finish. It's been a slow start. Let's see if they can't end with a bang.
I mean, it's got to happen sooner or later. Gen G has to come alive. Living at the bottom of the leaderboard is just so unexpected of Gen G right now, but they've got 4 members up. They've got control. They've got vision that they can play with. Oath still having 4 as well, though. It's going to be Heroic, 1 member up right now to deal with it. Did get a little bit of separation away from BP, who now has 2 members up, but it's going to be about position plays, and this is going to be where Gen G thrives. Individual firefights, making sure that they can try to get the effect inside of it. Well, I would say that. That's what usually is expected out of Gen G, but we haven't seen the same strength coming out quite yet. Is this their momentum moment? Can they finally right the ship? Gen G fans have been absolutely wanting it to happen so bad. Here comes the sin coming in from VP. Minimal options, gonna probably stop right next to the edge of safe zone, and T-Bone still wants it, man. He wants to get some back onto VP, but just cannot find the angle.
Get a kill. T-Bone can count this top 4 situation a success. With the boost closing in, he has to get to the push it forward. Wants to go into VP because he... Alright, okay. A lot of fantasy players have been really upset with his play style so far, but if he can land shots like that, it lands shots like this. Here we go. Now he's getting the points.
That's the Gen G we expect. Oh, gonna have to contest with Tulin's last one up. He is going to go down, but he does manage to drop Snakers, which provides an opportunity for Gen G, as this was going to be a 4v4 lineup. Now Oath having to see if they're going to be able to get a quick res out of this one. Good repositions already starting to come out from Gen G. They realize the fact that they have the opportunity and they want this victory. They do not want to end at the bottom of this leaderboard, and they know that they have an opportunity with it. Ashura sending it out in range, getting a back flank position on top of Oath. Kickstart is playing back there, but I don't know if he has the awareness of how this is going through. It's going to be reloaded. Goes down. Good toss up today coming out of the PO. Bill one. over this one. Ashura, though, putting in work back behind this one, but cannot quite find the angle just yet. Everything is starting to... A little bit more submission to Pio, realizing the fact that it might be a little bit too aggressive to play, waiting on the rest of his team to find different angles to play from. Ashura still with a pain in the backside of everything that Oath is trying to do, but it's going to be Jin Ji that's finding more and more opportunity. Grenade's going to land yet again right up on top of Snakers, and Oath just cannot get their feet underneath of them. Balefrost is going to go down. Now it's just going to be kickstart, and there you go! Jin Ji picks up the last game and moves from last into 10th place. Massive come on.
What a jump for Gen G, but we still have to celebrate KPI as the weekly winner. Underdogs coming into this event, underdogs coming into weekly survival and this weekly final, and they win the entire thing. Amazing play so far this entire weekend out of the Argentinian team, and I'm super excited to see if they can stay at this level for the entirety of PGC.
I know that everyone in Latin America right now is just ridiculously hyped. They've been wanting to see the capabilities of this squad for so long, and finally on an international stage to put in this much work. And you have to admit, it's not circle butt. It's all about maneuverability, taking risks, and coming in and getting big kills when it matters. Guys, analyst desk, walk us through what we're looking at, because we got to reset for a whole new week.
Thank you very much to Matt and Cameron for the cast, and congratulations to KPI for their $30,000 going to them, as well as the automatic bid to the grand final. The cameras will follow them as our weekly champions, but we will take our hats as well to Gen G, who got the win in the last game, and in doing so, went from dead last all the way to 10th place, and picked up a very large point amount for Texas as well to get back in this thing for the grand finals. It was a heck of a game. KPI comes out on top. Now, Froz, you contended that had Ghibli dropped KPI and taken the fight into their own hands, this might have gone differently.
It could have gone, but instead, KPI, they saw the kill feed. They saw that Ghibli was in a fight against SSG, and as soon as they saw that, they had all the information. They knew there's only one thing to do here. We take out Ghibli, we take care of this on our own. We don't let anybody else do this because we don't trust anyone else. We want to do this ourselves, and they go straight to Ghibli. And go straight to Ghibli. And go straight to Ghibli. And
closer. I'm out of range. It's too far away. I'm out of range. It's too far away. Ishnu Delgab.
It's too far away. I'm out of range.